rice stir fry. I want to start by telling you the ingredients and the tools that you will need to prepare this dish. Today we're going to need a cup of brown rice, a half a pound of broccoli, which we have here. We need 2 stalks of celery, carrot. It calls for 1 clove of garlic, but I have 3. We have a jalapeno, and we'll need this is canola oil. We have light soy sauce, cornstarch, and a tablespoon of brown sugar. As far as the tools that you'll need a measuring cup for the rice, which is 1 cup. You'll need a sharp knife, a vegetable peeler for your carrot. We're going to use the tablespoon, and I'll use a whisk to combine the ingredients for the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with prepping the ingredients, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. So while we're prepping our vegetables for the stir fry, I want to go ahead and get started with the rice so that it can be cooking. And just FYI, you'll need a medium-sized pot as well as a skillet to prepare the actual dish. So I'm going to go ahead and add my cup of brown rice to this medium-sized pot. And basically, when you're cooking rice, if it's a cup, you want to do double the amount. So I'm going to add 2 cups of water to my pot. And just monitor it. You don't want to disturb the rice once you get it started. That's what I've been told from my good friends in South Carolina, that once you start cooking rice, stir it and cover it and don't bother it. So we'll go ahead and turn this on, and I'll get started. Be sure you rinse your vegetables. Just give it a quick rinse, and then I'll wash the celery here. And my carrots. I have the broccoli already in the colander, so I'll give that a quick rinse and then just let it drain for a couple of minutes. So I want to quickly demonstrate how we should prep our vegetables using the tools, just in case you're unsure on what each utensil is used for. But basically, like I said, you'll need a sharp knife, the vegetable peeler, and a whisk. Those are helpful. And the main thing with cutting vegetables is you want to protect your fingers. So if you're dicing, you want to hide your fingertips and then cut using a rocking motion. So like with the celery, I'm going to make sure my fingers are back and just give it a nice even cut. As far as the vegetable peeler, you want to have a firm grip, start, and use quick, swift downward motion to peel off the outer layer of the carrot or whatever vegetable you're peeling, such as potatoes. So if you can see that, the little strips are coming right off. And once we're done, just kind of rinse it off, and then we'll dice it into bite-sized pieces so that once it cooks, they're not too small. Same for the broccoli. We want to kind of cut most of the stalk, remove most of that. So that was the first cut, and we want to kind of make florets, and that's really up to you as far as how large or small you are. So we just want to prep that and kind of move that to the side. Put this back, put the pieces, like that's a perfect size piece of broccoli, and that one's kind of large. And I'll cut again, so cut away at the stalk until you have nice florets. That saves you some time. So we'll just put those in the strainer here. You can break them apart if you like. So it makes it a little bit easier than trying to use the knife. So I'll cut that one and separate those. And there's the broccoli. And we'll continue on with the rest of the vegetables. I'll dice those into pieces. And with the garlic, you want to remove the outer casing cut the ends and peel it, and then peel the outside. Oops. And so I'll dice that kind of finely so it's not too overpowering once you add it to the dish. And let's see. With jalapenos, you want to be careful. You may want to wear some gloves because the seeds are there. So what you'll want to do is cut the end off and maybe cut it down the middle. And you'll see the seeds here. And just kind of scoop the seeds out because that's where the heat is. And dice those up once you've removed the seeds. We'll deal with the chicken in a few minutes because we don't want to cross-contaminate. You always have to be careful when dealing with meats, especially chicken, because of the risk for salmonella or any of the bacteria-borne conditions you can get from uncooked chicken. Now we're ready to start cooking our chicken, and we've got all of our ingredients here. And I just wanted to show you that I'm using a different chopping block, or I cover my chopping block to deal with the chicken. And all you want to do is just kind of cut it into bite-sized pieces, kind of imagine bite-sized chunks. So we'll cut the chicken, and have the rest of it here. So we have our chicken, our broccoli. This is the diced jalapeno and the garlic, our carrots, and 2 stalks of celery. We're gonna need the ginger. We've got our brown sugar, cornstarch, and soy sauce that we'll use in just a moment to mix up the sauce for our stir fry. So now I'll add my 2 tablespoons of canola oil to my medium skillet over medium heat, and then add the chicken so they can start browning. So it's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Now we'll add our chicken and our ginger. The recipe calls for half a teaspoon of ginger. So we'll get this in the skillet. Put a nice level scoop, half a teaspoon of ginger, and we'll kind of sprinkle that over. Then reduce my heat a little bit. Kind of stir it up. You always want to be careful with the placement of your candles. Make sure that it's not sticking out. Make sure they turn inward. And now we'll make our sauce. Like I said, we've started with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. We need 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of the soy sauce. We'll add that to our brown sugar. And we'll also go ahead and add our jalapenos to the mixture. I'm going to leave a few to add later, but most of the jalapeno is in the mixture. And finally, we need a tablespoon of cornstarch. We'll get a nice level scoop of cornstarch. You kind of scrape it against the edge of the rim. Add that. Now we'll use our nice colorful whisk and kind of get everything incorporated here. So now that this is done, I need to check on the chicken. Because what we'll do next is add our vegetables and allow it to simmer for a few minutes before we add our soy mixture. Looks like it's cooking pretty evenly. I think it's good. So we'll go ahead and add the vegetables so that it can all continue to cook, and I may increase the heat a little bit. So we've got our celery, We have 1 medium stalk of carrots. We'll add the remainder of our jalapenos plus the diced garlic. And finally, our broccoli florets. I'm going to kind of stir this together. So the recommendation here is to cook until the veggies are tender and the chicken is completely cooked but not dry. So that should take 5 to 7 minutes. So this is how our stir fry is looking so far. We've got all of these nice, fresh, colorful vegetables. And I'm actually going to separate the broccoli or get it to where it's closer to the bottom because that will take the longest to cook. So we'll make sure that gets coverage on the bottom. It smells yummy. Let's check on the rice. So towards the end, once the stir fry is almost done, I'll increase the temperature so that all of the water will cook out of it. So that's coming along nicely. So our chicken has browned nicely, and you can see how the vegetables have wilted a little bit, especially the broccoli. We don't want it to overcook. So what I'll do now is I've reduced the heat and I'll drizzle over our soy mixture. Make sure you get all the good stuff out. The cornstarch acts as a thickening agent, so you want to make sure you can get as much of that as you can. We'll stir it all around. And I'll probably reduce the heat a little bit more because we just want to give it a chance now for the soy mixture to absorb and kind of melt to the vegetables. Stir it around, make sure everything is kind of evenly distributed. You turn it all the way down now, probably to low. Now that the soy sauce is in, cover and let this simmer for about 2 more minutes, and then you can turn the heat off. And then you have your veggie and rice stir fry. Enjoy.